In today's video, we're going to be looking at arguably the two largest model making companies in the 1 to 400 scale scene. We're going to compare the companies to each other to really find out which one is the best. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be comparing GeminiJets and NG models to see which one comes out on top and which one is better in my opinion. Now the way this is going to work is this is going to be a kind of point scoring system, and I've created 5 different rounds where the two companies will go head to head, and I'll give evidence based on the models that I have, based on the evidence that I know, to see which one is better. So there's 5 rounds as I said, and the company that comes away with the most points will be the winner. Now one thing just before we start is I just want to mention that this video is going to be part of the Red River Aviation 2000 subscriber giveaway. If you want to be part of that giveaway, I will link the video and Red River Aviation's channel in the description below so you can check them out. If he's watching, huge congratulations on 2,000 subscribers and on to the next 1,000. Now these 5 rounds will consist of box design, mold variety, detail, model variety and community impacts. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So the first round on this list is the community impact round. Now, to start things off, whether you like GeminiJets or not, you have to admit that GeminiJets is the sole reason why this hobby is so big and why there is such a market for it today. You could also even argue that NG models wouldn't exist if GeminiJets didn't exist, purely because GeminiJets created a market for all these model aircraft. Now, as GeminiJets are kind of on a low at the moment, it is really easy to oversee and overlook the past that they have created. I can almost guarantee that pretty much every single model collector of the 1 to 400 scale has predominantly GeminiJets models. And I think purely because of the hobby that GeminiJets have created, I think this round ought to go to GeminiJets. Now for round 2, we will be taking a look at the boxes that the two companies make their models in. Now it is fairly simple to say that NG puts so much more effort in their boxes than GeminiJets does, but there are a few arguments as to why I think GeminiJets has made all their boxes kind of look the same. Now one feature of the GeminiJets boxes that I think is really nice is the flap that allows you to see the model on the inside. Now you could argue that GeminiJets have made their boxes all look the same to kind of go after the same result companies like Apple are going after, to make themselves look really professional and recognizable. For example, the Apple boxes of your iPhone all come in a white matte finish, and it just really gives the professional vibe, which I think is a nice touch. But I do think the NG models boxes take it for me just because of the individual unique design that kind of give the model on the inside a unique personality. Now the next round of this video is going to be mold variety. Now there's no shying down the fact that GeminiJets has so many more molds than NG models do. Now you could safely say GeminiJets has so many more different molds than NG does, purely because of how long they've existed. Now NG hasn't really had the chance to perfect their molds. I think they've perfected some of their molds, such as the 737-800, which had some landing gear issues, but GeminiJets has so many different aircraft and they have so many different molds for each aircraft. seems like almost every 3 or 4 years they make a new mold for upcoming releases of models. GeminiJets have several molds of the likes of the Airbus A380, A320, CRJ 700, CRJ series in general, 777 and MD-11, just to name a few. And this just allows them to have a overall market advantage compared to NG models. Now NG models, I feel like, is taking their time. They're not rushing out any of these new molds. They're steadily coming along with new molds, and they're making sure they are released once and very well. Now in conclusion, I think it's fairly safe to say that the Mould Variety round definitely goes to GeminiJets. Now the fourth round of this video is going to be the attention to detail round. Now I think we can all say, anyone who owns an NG Models aircraft knows that NG Models put so much effort into detail on their aircraft. And as well as NG Models getting absolutely amazing true to scale detail on pretty much all of their models, GeminiJets is kind of falling behind in the game, trying to catch up to NG Models. Now I think what the community has noticed in the past few years, or past 2 years in fact, is that GeminiJets has kind of tried to catch up to NG Models in the amount of models they've been producing and amount of quality and detail they put into their models. And this has left some grey areas in the releases that they've made in the past few years. A good example of this is the JetBlue Airbus A321neo in the blue bubbles livery. And as I've been collecting some of these GeminiJets models, I've noticed there are a couple of different trends of lack of attention to detail popping up in certain different models, such as oversized engines, as you can see in the JetBlue A321neo, and also in terms of the 737 and A330, the wings are really bent up as if the aircraft is in flight. Now if you really nitpick like I do, then you can notice it, but if you don't really care and you just care about kind of having a representation of an aircraft, then GeminiJets does its job. And there are also a couple of examples like the 787 Dreamliner, where both companies make a really nice representation of the model. NG makes a really nice mold which is really refined and has some really sharp details. Same can be said with GeminiJets. And I think this section kind of just comes down to consistency with models, because GeminiJets has the really nice A319 new mold, which they've made it with the United livery, which from what I've heard is a really nice model. I think the 787 done by GeminiJets is also a really nice model. But I think it just comes down to consistency of really well produced models. And I think NG just really shines in that area. They haven't really produced a poor detailed model, I think. And for that reason, I think NG Models is going to have to take this round. And now for the very final round of this video, we are going to be looking at the company's model variety. Now what I mean by this is the different types of models that they release. As an example, if you look at NG Models' monthly releases, there's always a couple of 737s or 787s that are more for collectors outside of the US, which is really nice to see, as it shows the consideration that NG Models has to collectors all around the world. We often find GeminiJets re-releasing models that they've released in the past that have high demand, which is a good thing I guess, because the community needs that. But yeah, I think the fact that NG Models touches on loads of different collecting communities is really nice. Just as a few examples, NG Models has released a lot of Malaysia Airlines aircraft, which is something we often have not seen in the community. I think it's also really nice that NG Models releases these really unique aircraft such as the National Geographic 757, which are aircraft that we don't normally see flying around in our day-to-day lives, but a really nice aircraft that people could have to their airports. And I think for that reason, NG Models is going to have to take Mould Variety as well. Now it's time to answer the question of which manufacturer is better. And for me, it just has to be NG Models, just because of the consistent, highly detailed, highly scaled down accurately models that are produced. There's such a new wide variety each month of models that you just can't shy down the fact that NG Models is doing an absolutely amazing job at the moment. And for that reason, NG Models is my favorite company at the moment. PS, Red River Aviation, if you stuck all the way to the end of the video, regarding the giveaway, I would love to get the Southwest 737-700. And my favorite aircraft is the Airbus A350. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. Huge shout out to Red River Aviation again for hosting the giveaway. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to him. I'll add a link in the description below. But yeah, please consider subscribing. We're so close to 600 subscribers. And yeah, it's been Aviation JFK signing off.